A tube amp is a type of guitar amplifier that uses vacuum tubes as part of the circuit. These little light bulb things here. In the UK, we tend to call them valves and valve amps, but it means exactly the same thing. Now, the real magic with tube amps happens when you crank up the volume. And what that does is it overdrives the tubes and creates a really natural sounding type of distortion called overdrive that's perfect for rock music, especially if you want that classic rock guitar tone. Personally, I really like tube amps because I think they just sound a little bit more expressive and they're a bit more responsive to how I'm playing my guitar compared to some other types of amps out there. And a lot of my pedals actually work better with the tube amp as well. So overall, I get a much warmer, a much richer and more dynamic sound from my amp. But they have their drawbacks too. First off, they are really loud, and to get that signature overdrive sound, you really have to crank your amp's volume. And most of them don't have headphone jacks either, so it can be hard to get the full benefit of one if you're just playing at home and you don't hate your neighbours. They also tend to be a little bit more expensive as well, which can put some people off. And they're a little bit harder to take care of because of the tubes. They need a couple of minutes to warm up before you start playing. They can get damaged easily if you bash them around during travel. And even things like changes in the temperature can cause your tubes to wear out quicker. And I say quicker because eventually your tubes will wear out and you'll have to replace them, just like you would an old light bulb. That being said, new tubes are actually quite pricey, and if you have to replace more than one, it can add up quite quickly. But if you take care of them properly, you shouldn't need to do it often at all. It's like every few years max. Now, if you've been online for a while or are just doing some research into your first guitar amp, then you might have seen that there's a bit of a debate around tube amps and other types of guitar amps like solid state amps and amp simulators and which one's better. At the end of the day, much like the type of guitar that you use, everyone's going to have their own preference and one isn't inherently better than the other. Personally, for me, I prefer tube amps because I think they just sound a little bit better for the style of music that I like to play. They feel a little bit more responsive as well. And I like the fact that it's just a physical thing happening in there. There's something going on. Almost like listening to vinyl instead of Spotify. It just feels maybe a little bit more human, a little bit more tangible. But there's plenty of solid state amps and amp simulators out there that genuinely sound amazing. And they have the benefit of having all that extra range of sound that you can get from them. And they'll usually have a headphone jack as well, so you're not going to be bugging anyone with your playing. Like this Vox AD15VT that I've used for so many years because it can just do so many different things. So as I said, one isn't inherently better than the other, they just do different things. I think that the best type of amp is the one that sounds right for you and has the features on it that allows you to do what you need to do. But let me know what you think. If you've got your eye on an amp, let me know what it is down below, I'd love to hear it. And if you've got any questions, also let me know and I'll do my best to help. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.